Good evening and welcome to Nationwide Today. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Thanks for joining us. A unified response to issues of global concern is one of the lessons learned by the United Nations from the global fight against the coronavirus as it pushes for equal access to vaccines by all countries when available. This was highlighted by the President, United Nations General Assembly, Tijani Mohamed Bande, during a virtual interactive session with journalists in Abuja. Chimobi Walter Naji reports.
The global pandemic is bringing most countries to their knees in areas of health and the economy. But despite this, President, United Nations General Assembly Tijani Bande notes that Nigeria and some African countries have performed beyond expectation in the fight against COVID-19 through contact tracing, cure and management of the disease. He hinted that the United Nations General Assembly is advocating equal access to the vaccine when developed to ensure equity and fairness.
Important for Nigeria, or Nigeria has taken a lead on, that the world community is also taken seriously. I talk about three things. One, of course, is the issue of poverty eradication. Another one is the issue of education. Another one is the issue of illicit financial flows, to mention, and of course climate change. Four of these are important to Nigeria. Successive governments have shown the importance of this to the country. In particular, the current administration has focused on the issue of security and illicit flows.
The Anga president further reiterated the need for countries to share ideas and exchange technology as it will help foster unity and reduce diplomatic tension among countries. On the Mali crisis, the Anga president noted that the United Nations is fully involved, though taking a cue from the ECOWAS, which is closer to the region, in finding a lasting solution to the crisis. In Abuja, Chimobi Walter Naji, NTA News.
The COVID-19 pandemic across the globe has continued to pose challenges for all, including migrants, especially migrants working under inhumane conditions. The Civil Society Network on Migration and Development Nigeria is engaging stakeholders working on migration to create a platform for protection of migrants. Obiageli Ugwoke reports.
The adverse impact of COVID-19 pandemic has affected the livelihood of migrants, resulting in hardship to an estimated 25.2 million refugees, asylum seekers and internally displaced persons, IDPs in Africa. Oftentimes, they are hosted in areas with limited access to services such as water, sanitation, hygiene, and quality health system. Civil Society Network on Migration and Development, CSO NetMate, is engaging all stakeholders working on migration management and related issues in Nigeria to establish a platform for appropriate reporting and follow-up of migrants' rights violation.
Responding to the issue of the pandemic, we found out that most times these migrants are not mainstreamed within these processes of both palliative measures and also recovery measures.
From what I gathered, we're not giving palliatives, and we don't really try to reach out to them, forgetting that the reason for which they left might still drag them out.
The stakeholders are advocating the need to set out measures to adequately improve social protection of migrants and ensure overall protection of their lives and well-being during and after COVID-19.
We need to establish more of this MRC to have a very wider coverage within the 6 geopolitical zones.
The ministry is very, very mindful of ensuring that no one is left behind in delivering the humanitarian response.
The CSO NetMade helps civil societies to build and strengthen the work of diverse actors, including government and non-governmental organizations who work with migrants at the grassroots, with the support of the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation. Obiageli Ugoke, NTA News.
Still talking COVID-19, Nigeria Center for Disease Control has announced 155 new confirmed cases of COVID-19 in 15 states of the Federation and the FCT. The new figures indicate that Lagos has 42 new cases, followed by Plateau with 25, Rivers 16, Ebonyi 10, Abia, Ogun and FCT 9 each, Osun 7, Katsina and Kaduna State 6 each, Ekiti and Taraba have 4 each, Edo 3, Anambra and Akwa Ibom states have 2 new cases, while Kano has 1. With this development, Nigeria has 55,160 confirmed cases, 43,231 treated and discharged, while 1,061 died of the virus. Now to security. After 16 weeks of intensive training, 36 officers of the Nigerian Air Force have earned the allied position of intelligence tradesmen. Defense correspondent Najatu Tijani reports on the implications of the young officers' course to national security.
Stepping smartly to receive their certificates as qualified intelligence officers, these pioneer graduates of the course at the Defense Intelligence College, Karu, will also need to be 2 steps ahead of criminal elements in order to turn the tide against security threats.
Without good intelligence, you can't succeed in anything you do operationally. So we are very excited, and I want to congratulate the Chief of Defense Intelligence and the Commandant of the college.
This course is coming quite timely, given the increased activities, in the Northeast and other parts of Nigeria. So the Defense Intelligence College is poised, and we're happy we are contributing our own quota.
This resonates with squadron leader Igurube, best graduating student in the course. His dissertation on the potentials of intelligence in community policing is an indication that he and his counterparts are already thinking outside the box.
With what we have acquired, contribute our quota significantly when we are tasked in the field to carry out our various assignments. Thank you.
The course is coming at a time when intelligence is greatly needed to overcome the security challenges being faced by the country, and it is expected that these young officers will not only contribute their quota but will actually change the status quo of activities in this area. Najatu Tijani, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Army says it remains committed to implementing new strategies towards achieving optimum performance in the responsibility of securing the country. This formed part of the message of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, to the Nigerian Army Regimental Sergeant Majors Convention in Owerri. Loretta Arinzi Egim reports.
The role of the Nigerian Army in maintenance of peace and security of the country cannot be overemphasized. Hence, the need for this gathering of sergeant majors from across Nigeria. Speaking at the convention, which has as its theme regimentation as an instrument of professionalism, the role of the RSM, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, who was represented, says the purpose is to build the competence of regimental sergeant majors on entrenchment of regimentation and professionalism.
The convention is designed to further equip you with the requisite knowledge to enable you perform your roles professionally and serve as links between officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army.
The General Officer Commanding 82 Division, Nigerian Army, Major General Lasisi Adiboye, challenged the participants to utilize the convention in achieving optimal performance in the discharge of their duties.
Pertinent, therefore, to re-emphasize that the Chief of Army Staff vision, which is to have a professionally responsive Nigerian Army in the discharge of its constitutional roles, cannot be attained without a professional and highly regimented crop of regimental sergeant majors.
Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma, while commending President Muhammadu Buhari for his support to the Nigerian Army, appreciates them for their effort in securing the country, especially their recent successes in the Northeast.
The Nigerian Army, as an institution, since their presence in Imo State, has helped in making sure that we have a convivial and peaceful atmosphere for our businesses.
The convention is expected to last 1 week. In Owerri, Lorita Rinzegui, NTA News.
You're watching Nationwide on NTA. Time now to join Dotun in Lagos for some reports. Hello, Dotun.
Elizabeth. Complementing warfare with youth empowerment is one of the strategies the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency is considering as a way of ridding the Gulf of Guinea of maritime crimes. Director General of the agency, Bashir Jamob, while receiving Bayelsa State Governor Senator Duroye Diri in Lagos, hinted that 3 states in the Niger Delta region will pilot the scheme. Michael Olaleye reports.
Nigeria has about 3,000 kilometers of navigable waterways, which stretches from the Jew and Cameroon borders to the Atlantic Ocean. It is an exclusive economic zone with vast wealth waiting to be tapped, but impediments such as kidnapping, piracy and other maritime crimes have become major problems, compelling the Bayelsa State government to collaborate with any agency in addressing the menace. The governor, armed with a long list of opportunities that abound in the maritime space, wants NIMASA to expand the tentacles of its Deep Blue project to calm the troubled waters in the region.
And I believe that the wealth of this country, the wealth of Bayelsa State, is in the maritime domain. Therefore, I invite you to also partner with the state government in the establishment of that academy, which I believe will also add to the other very few that we already have at Toron and the one in Delta State.
The Maritime Regulatory Agency sees the prospect as the beginning of a remarkable journey to shifting from an oil-based economy by capitalizing on Bayelsa State's blueprints aimed at solving the most crucial problem of security.
For the Bayelsa State government to see how they can establish a wreck recycling industry where we can be recycling these wrecks after removal. These areas can give enormous employment for our teeming youth, that they are disturbing our waters with the issues of insecurity.
The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency says it is open to strategic partnership with individuals, groups or states that will complement its goal of harnessing the potential in the blue economy. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
Nigerians have been urged to be God-fearing, obedient and do their best to contribute their quota to the growth and development of Lagos State and the nation at large. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu gave the advice at a religious gathering in Lagos. Nosa Usula reports.
The governor, who commended religious bodies for their support, prayers and service to humanity, said his administration's efforts to flatten the curve of COVID-19 pandemic in the state would not have been possible without their support.
As we begin to regain our lives again in the church and the state and the nation, the best way possible for us is to be able to stand on our feet and to stand resolute in our faith and believing that God is always with us.
The governor commiserated with families of those that lost their loved ones to COVID-19, adding that this was the first time in the last 6 months he had attended a church service. Governor Sanwo-Olu urged residents to continue to comply with government's COVID-19 prevention directives. In Lagos, Nosa, Ostula, NTA News.
Today is World Literacy Day, and this year, global focus is on teaching and learning in a COVID-19 pandemic setting. Hawal Yusuf Jibo examines the effect of the new normal on the education sector and its impact on academic life.
In fact, that a nation cannot develop beyond the level of its literacy, as learning is essential for social and human development. It bequeaths individuals with the requisite skills for specialization and empowerment. However, with the devastating effects of the COVID-19 pandemic on education globally, literacy is being threatened. Thus, the theme for this year's World Literacy Day is aptly tagged, Literacy, Teaching and Learning in the COVID-19 Crisis. Teaching and learning are now governed by a different set of rules.
The most fundamental is that we must adopt new and innovative ways of promoting literacy at all levels of society. By this I mean, in particular, we must go digital and embrace the IT revolution. This calls for massive investments in infrastructure and software, hardware and software. We need to equip our young learners with all the necessary computer facilities they need, and thought may be given to liberalizing the import of IT-related infrastructure.
Winner Friday is a secondary school graduate who dreams of being a student in one of the tertiary institutions in Nigeria.
Going to lectures, meeting my lecturers, having classes and all that. Like, I just can't wait. I hope this ends soon so schools can resume and I can also go to school.
Educationists believe that the bottlenecks caused by the pandemic will not truncate Nigeria's quest for full literacy.
Teachers and educational administrators should be involved on-the-job training so that they should be able to tackle this issue as the schools are about to be opened.
Our service providers, they need to be overdoing, because the majority of what we are paying for, we are paying for render services. You recharge, you are talking, you will not hear, you put on your data, it will just be rolling, and it will be taking up your data.
In Lagos, Hawal Yusuf Jibo, NTA News.
For more on Literacy Day, let's rejoin Elizabeth in Abuja.
Thank you so much, Dotun. Still on the World Literacy Day, the 8th of September was proclaimed International Literacy Day by UNESCO in 1966 to remind the international community of the importance of education for individuals, communities and societies, as well as the need to intensify efforts towards a more literate society. The focus for this year is literacy, teaching and learning in the COVID-19 crisis and beyond. Olayinka Ojo in this report takes a look at the role of educators in teaching and effective methods that can be used in adult literacy programs.
Since 1967, International Literacy Day celebrations have taken place annually around the world to remind the public of the importance of literacy as a matter of dignity and human rights, and to advance the literacy agenda towards a more literate and sustainable society. Despite progress made, literacy challenges persist, with at least 773 million adults worldwide lacking basic literacy skills today.
And we know education is the only weapon to fight vulnerability.
The recent COVID-19 crisis has been a stark reminder of the existing gap between policy, discourse, and reality. With COVID-19 in many countries, adult literacy programs have been non-existent in the initial education response plan. So, most adult literacy programs that did exist were suspended, with just a few courses continuing virtually through television and radio or an open air space. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, adopted by world leaders in September 2015, promotes universal access to quality education and learning opportunities throughout people's lives. Sustainable Development Goal 4 has as one of its targets ensuring all young people achieve literacy.
I want to become a doctor to treat those people who are not fine and sick.
We are training over 30,000 women and girls on second chance education.
We need massive investments. We need massive training of our teachers in terms of modern curriculum, in terms of where the world has taken us now after COVID-19, which is that beyond face-to-face learning, we need to adapt technology.
Educationists are of the consensus that literacy increases job opportunities and access to higher education, as the understanding of the substantive human rights should be a common knowledge to Nigerians.
Thank you so much, Olainka. It's still nationwide. Let's take a break now. More reports ahead when we return.
A new edition of TV Guide is out, featuring great personalities from all walks of life. Expository interview with a young TV presenter who shows passion on what she does, Morayo Afolabi Brown of TVC. Pick a copy of this compendium of mind-blowing stories and get abreast with issues as regards media convergence, leadership, health, star profiles, star programs, fashion, sports, human angle stories, and lots more. Meet some media professionals within our space who have paid their dues in no small ways. TV Guide, very incisive, very educative and compelling. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or NTA stations nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
NTA News 24, a 24-hour news station, brings to you news and happenings 7 days a week.
News at 10 a.m., news update at 11 and 1 p.m.
News desk at 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. and late evening news at 11 p.m.
Follow us on any of our platforms and keep abreast of events and current affairs within and outside our shores.
We are on DSTV channel 419, GoTV channel 46,
StarTimes channel 101 and Free TV channel 703.
Join us.
NTA TV College Jos, an affiliate of Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, is currently admitting students for its ordinary diploma programs in television journalism, television production, and television engineering. Interested candidates are advised to obtain relevant information concerning eligibility at our website at www.ntatvc.edu.ng or marketing department of any NTA station nationwide. For further information, contact Assistant Director, Marketing, NTA TV College Jos on 0803-314-4383 or the Academic Office of the College on 0806-980-9807. Announcer, Registrar.
Thanks for joining us. Now to food security. Using cocoa and oil palm cultivation as pilots, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations is initiating a land use and restoration program to promote sustainable food production practices in Nigeria. On NTA Face completes the story.
Land is the primary resource for agriculture, especially food production, and an integral part of natural ecosystems. Now, over-exploitation of land and its resources do not only deplete the resources, but also degrade the quality of the ecosystem. As Nigeria strives to actualize food security, sustainable land use and landscape management becomes imperative for sustained food production.
Into massive
agricultural.
Conversations at this Inception workshop, courtesy of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations in collaboration with the Global Environment Facility, are centered on the best ways to use land resources to produce food in a sustainable manner.
The project will therefore take into consideration the inherent potential of the Nigerian rainforest, which is classified amongst the biodiversity hotspots in the world. But it will also take into consideration the country's need for cultivation of diverse agricultural commodities.
The focus of this phase is cocoa and oil palm production in Cross River and Ondo states as pilots for food systems, land use and restoration program funding in the Niger Delta region of Nigeria.
We in the Federal Ministry of Agri, we are really promoting the climate smart agricultural practices among our smallholders farmers, and this will allow for sustainable use of the land.
And at the very same time, we positioning the environment for the sustainability of our continuous existence.
Our technical session of the workshop will articulate best practices for land use and sustainable food production. In Abuja, on NTA Fine Face, NTA News.
Away from agriculture, the Emir of Yauri, Dr. Mohammed Zayanu Abdullahi, has advocated for the dredging of River Niger and other waterways as a panacea to the incessant flooding being experienced in the country. That traditional ruler stated this while commiserating with victims of flood disaster in Yauri and other parts of the country. Nura Tanko Wakili reports.
Yauri Emirate is a major rice-producing area with River Niger passing through all the local governments in the area. The flood disaster therefore hit hard on the area, destroying rice fields on the bank of River Niger. We have traveled for about 100 kilometers on River Niger in Yauri Emirate, and 70% of this journey was on rice farms submerged by the flood water. What farmers are doing now is counting their losses. Malam Lawali Bukunji lost over 200 bags of already harvested paddy rice, while thousands lost assorted crops on farmlands.
Anything that we plant near river, we lost it.
It has damaged a lot of farm produce.
We have to improve on our waterways. The river Niger must be dredged, because right now the bottom is full of sediments of clay and sand. That will make the river narrow. Therefore, there's a lot of water to spread to other areas.
The devastation was not limited to farmlands, as many riverine communities were forced out of their villages by the flood water, with monumental loss of property.
The South government is trying to do a lot of help, but we cannot do it unless if we get the number of the affected lands. From
Kwanji district in Shanga to Liberton and Gesk local government areas, thousands of communities have been devastated by the flood. Nura Tanko Wakili, NTA News.
For more reports on Nationwide, let's join Sulaiman in our Kaduna studio. Hello, Sulaiman.
Welcome to Kaduna Network Center. Engineers fixing the failed portion of the Rigachukun Bridge work. This is preparatory to refilling the kept portion of the bridge. Abdullah Muhammad has a situation report.
Work has progressed on the Rigachukun Bridge. We have observed that the engineers have successfully excavated the wet soil that form part of the transition base, which caved in about 10 days ago. What they have brought in now are boulders and concrete to refill that transition base. And over there, we have reported about 2 days, the transition base of the same caving. But this morning we have observed that they have been able to excavate the wet soil there, awaiting refill.
What remains mind-boggling lies on the bridge, which carries the traffic while the other one is closed for repairs. Its transition base is under threat. More worrisome, it's that its integrity is shaken and it is beginning to collapse.
The engineers have carried out repair work on the transition base of the only bridge that carries the traffic for now. But unfortunately, this morning, it has also given way. In Kaduna, Abdullah Muhammad, NTA.
Thank you, Abdullah. Kaduna State is being considered as one of the states for the proposed due to its enormous agricultural and commercial activities. Minister of Environment.
I'm afraid that's the much we can take from our studio in Kaduna. Do bear with us. Moving on, the Nigerian Immigration Service Interpol 1247 unit, a major Interpol system support arm domiciled at the NIS headquarters Abuja, successfully uploaded about 15,000 stolen and lost travel documents to Interpol global system in Lyon, France, seamlessly on Monday. A statement by the Nigerian Immigration Service Public Relations Officer DCI Sunday James indicates that this integration is acknowledged by the Interpol Police global system as the first in Africa and 54th in the world. The Nigerian stolen and lost travel documents detection and tracking system of the Nigeria Immigration Service was put in place to rid the world of identified theft, fraud, and other organized crimes made possible by stolen and lost travel documents. A legal practitioner, Mr. Kennedy Agbai, is currently on the wanted list of Ebonyi State Police Command for attempted murder and other inciting communal war in Ishiagu community in Ovu Council area of the state. Chinaza John reports.
Parading the suspects before newsmen at the command's headquarters in Abakaliki, Commissioner of Police Mr. Philip Marco stated that the said lawyer, who is still at large, hired some men who stormed Ishiaga community, destroyed properties as well as inflicted machete injuries on some villagers who are currently recuperating in the hospital.
Investigation has shown that there was a dispute where the case was taken to court, but it is on appeal. But we don't know the motive why the barrister should go and hire machineries from Abia to come to that village and destroy this property worth millions of naira. On receipt of this, the operative of Nigerian police struck into action where 12 suspects were arrested.
The CP, while pledging the command's commitment to rid the state of all forms of criminality, revealed that a group of cultists and robbery gangs terrorizing the state capital were also arrested following a tip-off.
They are just temptations. I give them information. Okay, one at Anu Aboyi. Yeah.
Items recovered include locally made single and double barrel guns, live cartridges, machetes, sledgehammer, among others. In Abakaliki, Chinaza John, NTA News.
The organized labor has suspended a proposed protest in Rivers State following resolutions reached by the state government, and the body, Ogedi Inekwere, reports that the resolutions were reached after several hours of deliberations.
After the meeting, which was held behind closed doors with the organized labor and the Rivers State government, President Nigerian Labour Congress Ayuba Waba said the decision to suspend the planned protest in the state was taken after resolutions were reached and documentation signed. He said the state government has made strong commitments to implement all the contending issues, ranging from the signing of agreements on minimum wage, unsealing of the state NLC secretariat, payment of check-off dues, and setting up of tripartite committee to resolve all other outstanding issues.
Payment of outstanding health workers' salary. The Rivers State government commits to the payment of salaries withheld from health workers due to the 2017 strike action. Suspension of planned protests. Organized labor agreed to immediately suspend the planned protest scheduled for Tuesday, 8 September 2020.
Rivers State government is also giving our commitment that everything we have promised or agreed to will be carried out.
The planned protest has been suspended following the agreement on the terms reached by both parties and read out by the NLC president.
They called on all workers in Rivers State to go about their duties without fear of molestation. In Port Harcourt, Ogedinyekwere, NTA News.
And Kemi in Ibadan has the next set of reports. Kemi.
Elizabeth, and welcome to Ibadan. The Nigerian Correctional Service has taken the lead in the efforts at ensuring Nigerian indigenous languages are part of the training curriculum of military and paramilitary personnel across the country. Kende Omolosho reports that this came to the fore at the Nigerian Correctional Service Kwara State Command training on peaceful coexistence and enhanced intelligence gathering.
A major component of culture is an effective tool and powerful medium of communication among a people, reflecting who they are, their history and social background.
If the inmate is a Yoruba person and the officer taking care, trying to correct the abnormalities, can speak their language, understand their culture, understand their history, their historical background, certainly they will be able to impact positively in service delivery.
Going to help our officers so that anywhere we are transferred to, we can easily blend with the culture.
Best way we can promote indigenous languages for parents to endeavor to speak their indigenous languages to their children at home.
Adiza Mai, a correctional officer from Chibok local government in Borno State, is interested in learning Yoruba language to help our efficiency on the job.
You can come across different type of different inmates and with different languages.
Hausa language is spread almost all the world, so I just have interested in that language.
With over 700 correctional personnel and 4 holding facilities in the state, the National Institute for Culture Orientation, NICO, is convinced understanding Nigerian indigenous languages will not only promote relationship with the host communities, but also improve on surveillance and information gathering. Kehinde Omolosho, NTA News.
In a bid to prevent flood in Oyo State, the government has embarked on waste sorting program. Ayomiku Ajibola has the details.
Distributing branded waste sorting bags to residents of selected areas across the Ibadan metropolis, which include Oke-Ibadan GRA, Agodi GRA, More Plantation, and Akaran. Commissioner for Environment and Natural Resources, Idowu Oyeleke, pointed out that the program is to ensure that waste will be disposed responsibly and also to generate money, lamenting the increased rate of flooding in the state due to indiscriminate and careless disposal of PET bottles, cellophane and nylon bags, which largely blocks waterways. The commissioner added that the state government plans to create a business environment for those interested in making a living of recycling.
Almost every homes in your state will have a bag where they can adequately dispose and sort this their waste material, particularly the plastic and the nylons, which form the bulk of some of the refuse that blocks our drains. By the time we sort this right from the source, the issue of flooding through blockage of drains will be a thing of the past in the state.
The initiative is expected to spread across all homes in Oyo State within the next 1 year. In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's back to you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Kemi. Now to felicitations. President Muhammad Buhari warmly felicitates with the Owele of Ichida Gilbert Chikelu on his 90th birthday. President Buhari recognizes Owele Chikelu's significant contributions in different fields of endeavor to Nigeria's development, especially his devotion to duty as an economist, administrator, Federal Permanent Secretary of over 10 years, and Minister of the Federal Republic. The President commends the elder statesman and community leader for leading his community with dignity, wisdom, and respect for constituted authority, praying God Almighty to grant the non-Nigerian continued good health and joy for more years. In the same vein, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has congratulated Owele Gilbert Obiajulu Chikelu on his 90th birthday anniversary. In a statement, the Group Managing Director, Mele Kyari, extolled the virtues of Owele Chikelu, having served meritoriously in various capacities in the corporation, especially as a former chairman of the NNPC board. In the statement also, the NNPC board assures him of the commitment of the management and staff to consolidate on the gains of the foundation he and his colleagues laid in the corporation. He wishes him good health and favor from God as he journeys in life. The Presidential Support Committee of the South region has expressed gratitude to President Muhammadu Buhari for releasing over 700 million naira to facilitate forensic auditing of the Niger Delta Development Commission. This was at a media briefing in Abuja. Kenneth Nanim reports.
Despite huge financial commitment by the federal government for developmental projects in the Niger Delta region, the level of underdevelopment in the area has left government and other well-meaning Nigerians in great concern. The Presidential Support Committee South-South is thanking President Muhammadu Buhari for showing more commitment in checking corruption alleged by stakeholders as set back in the region.
President that we know, he has been a man of integrity, he has been a great man.
The group is also appreciative of President Buhari for approving funds for the reconstruction of the East-West Road. Some of the members in the diaspora are also asking for opportunities to contribute in promoting government programs.
We must be involved in policy development. We must be involved in policy implementation so that we can make our meaningful impact in the national development.
On the proactive steps being taken to safeguard the rights of Nigerians doing business in Ghana, the PSC wants federal government to be emphatic in ensuring that government of Ghana respects ECOWAS treaties and diplomatic protocols. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
The bid to curb all forms of violence against women and girls has contained and continued to gain momentum, with the Ministry of Women Affairs training key players on accurate and comprehensive data containing information on perpetrators. Ngozi Silva Technicio reports.
In my state, day in, day out, witness is cases of children abuse, women abuse, here and there. So it's really a disheartening thing. And as I always continue to say, we won't intervene the way we should without data.
But this particular opportunity is just only to enhance our data gathering knowledge. It's going to help us to be able to keep track and record of all those ones that have been physically abused.
Marcelina and Olufunke from Ebonyi and Lagos states, with their counterparts from the FCT and 5 other states, are learning new skills under the Spotlight initiative on how to collate, monitor, research and evaluate records. This is to build a national database for policymakers, development and response agencies to ascertain areas of focus in terms of funds and other resources. Information on the time, location and other incidents surrounding acts of violence against women and girls, which has been noted to be setback in the advocacy and implementation of policies and programs to end gender-based violence, especially in this era of COVID-19, is what this Spotlight initiative wants to address.
The Spotlight initiative has turned more sharply on the persistence of violence against women and girls, the need for more and better data for informed evidence-based programming in order to address this human rights violation.
The pandemic exacerbated existing gaps in the provision of services, ranging from uncoordinated response mechanisms to...
There is high hope among the participants that this training will bring the desired change in the pilot states of Lagos, Adamawa, Ebonyi, Sokoto, Cross Rivers and the FCT. In Abuja, Ngozi Silva Technical, NTA News.
This is Nationwide on NTA. Let's now join Abubakar in Maiduguri for some reports.
It's really good to see you, Elizabeth, and thanks for joining us. About 200 physically challenged persons across 3 local government areas of Bama, Gala, and Kalabalgi in Borno State have been presented with wheelchairs to ease their movement to school and other daily transactions. Memuna Garba has the rest of the story.
Out of the 200 beneficiaries of the wheelchairs, 180 adults, while 20 are children of different ages, male and female. The beneficiaries are full of gratitude, saying it will assist them a lot.
Gesture is unprecedented.
I thank God that I've gotten this wheelchair because I've been trying to get it for the past 20 years.
Making the presentation, the lawmaker representing Bama, Ngala, and Kalabelge Federal Constituency at the lower chamber of the National Assembly, Zainab Gimba, said the physically challenged also need to be included in the process, not only for the sake of equity, but social development, adding that this could be done in partnership with concerned persons for progress and achievement of more dividends of democracy.
The vulnerable groups are affected more, and the people living with physical ability, women suffer more as a result of this crisis.
Being vulnerable members of the society, the lawmakers said they deserve all the support they could get, hence the decision to extend the gesture to them. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
With the strategic aim of boosting the capacity of farmers in Borno State towards increasing agricultural production, a sensitization workshop was held in Maiduguri. The report. Rising from decade of insurgency with a devastating effect on socio-economic activities, including agriculture in the northeast region, more especially Borno State, the epicenter of Boko Haram insurgency, efforts towards empowering farmers and stakeholders is of great significance in the lives of the people. The sensitization workshop therefore aimed at providing farmers with modern know-how of agro-allied activities towards improving agricultural yields.
The workshop inspired expository. We thank God for the opportunity.
We are delighted and grateful for the workshop. May the organizers be rewarded.
At the end of the workshop, participants were presented with farm implements and equipment such as chemical sprayer, pesticides, seedlings of rice, sorghum, and maize, among others, were provided as support to the farmers. In addition to the farm implements, the initiator of the workshop, federal lawmaker representing Monguno, Marte, and Ganze at the lower chamber of the National Assembly, Barrister Mohammed Tahir Monguno, represented by Kyari Imam, said startup capital of 70,000 naira will be given to each participant. The program also featured presentation of palliatives to the participants. And those are the latest stories. For now, from Maiduguri, let's now return to Elizabeth in Abuja for more reports on Nationwide. Elizabeth?
Thank you, Abubakar. The menace of illegal motor parks in major population centers is being addressed by Nasarawa State government with construction of befitting structures for effective traffic management and security of travelers. From Lafia, Aliu Tijani Mohammed reports.
Lafia, the Nasarawa State capital, can also be described as a confluent city connecting southern and northern parts of the country.
There is no single motor park that you go and enter, you have a peace of mind for going to the next destination, especially now that we have insecurity.
If you look at all this crime happening here, sometimes people use illegal motor parks to perpetuate crimes.
This is Lafia Central Motor Park, which is as old as Lafia itself, but serving its purpose. While the facility lacks basic amenities, the major entry and exit Akwanga Makodi Road, contend with many motor parks, as stakeholders say affect smooth traffic flow and passenger travel. As part of addressing the challenges, state government is constructing a new modern park.
The transport sector with adequate infrastructure is capable of supporting the socio-economic development of our society.
Government says it will create hundreds of jobs while adding beauty to the capital city. 30% of work done so far, and completion period is February 2021.
Apart from the main terminal building, they have a mechanic shed where if the car has issues, they can go for repairs.
Similar project in Karo close to Abuja is progressing, while the one for Akwanga is on the drawing board. In Lafia, Aliu Tijani Mohammed, NTA News.
Next, after this break, stay with us.
She cries. She cries in anguish and in pain. She bears the scourge of her grief. She toils in vain for justice and succumbs to silence. He gloats over his malady. Like a beast, he pounces with no remorse. Her cry means nothing. Her pain feeds her shame. Like an orphan, she's left to grieve in solitude. But no more will she cry in vain. Her adversaries will henceforth bear the brunt of their cruelty. Rape is evil. Rape is a plague, a pandemic of monumental consequences. We must unite and kick it out of our society.
Connect with NTA and stand against rape and rapists. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk. App for iOS or Android, Intelsat 901 degree east. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
ICPC and NTA say you can help Nigeria to flatten the curve on COVID-19, just as you can help flatten the curve on corruption. Follow transparency, accountability, and integrity just as you follow health guidelines. Stay home with integrity and maintain your distance from corruption, just as you stay away from COVID-19 by maintaining social distance. Report every act of corruption to ICPC just as you report COVID-19 to NCDC. Stay away from corruption, stay safe from COVID-19. Report any act of corruption to ICPC on toll-free number 0800-2255-4272. This message is brought to you by ICPC and NTA.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online. Or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
Talking sports now, Sports Ministry hopeful on the 6th National Youth Games holding this year, as Olympic organisers insist new dates will not change. Details with Tamara Ibiwe on Sports Updates.